What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to quickly make this video as we're getting very close to the time that the decision is coming out. I'm also going to talk about what the news is saying about Aapl and Tesla and how the charts are looking. But before breaking anything down, let me just say a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, in just about 7 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with Tesla and the market. Looking at Tesla, we have a clear inverse head and shoulders like structure that is developed on it, and Tesla's looking more bullish from a technical standpoint. However, I must warn you that technicals are not everything. That does not mean that we're guaranteed to start going up, because we have some data from the Fed coming out that could always cause anything. But as of right now, I am basically in the middle. I'm open to anything thanks to the Fed, but I am leaning a tiny bit more bullish thanks to destruction, thanks to what we're seeing on SPY so far. But just to be safe, always be prepared for anything and get ready for what's about to happen. Now, when it comes to Aapl, Aapl was a little bit weak, which caused the market to kind of slow down a little bit, but overall SPY is still green, Tesla's still green. The QQQ is kind of flat, so is the NASDAQ, and Aapl is the one that was a little bit weak as we had this news come out that Aapl has apparently been stopped short of bringing a stock trading feature to the iPhone. And this was some not so great news because it showed that Aapl was just lagging behind what many people were expecting. And even though this was the case, it's not the end of the world. If anything, there's still big potential for the company. Now, this was supposed to be like a big plan between Aapl and Goldman Sachs anyways for a stock trading feature, but once again, it was turned down. But anyways, going back to that, Aapl France workers are also calling for a strike ahead of the iPhone 15 launch, demanding that their demands be met, and they claim that they're not being met so far. So that's important. This is not the best of news for Aapl as a whole, and that's part of why it underperformed. For Tesla, we had some good news, as Tesla's added the Model 3 performance giveaway to the referral program to help boost more incentives. So some good news came out. Tesla's starting to see some shorts cover right before this rate hike decision is coming out, and this is all very important. The decision comes out in just a couple of minutes. This is going to be big, guys. The Fed is most likely not going to be raising rates this time around. That's most likely going to be the case. There's a very high probability of that. And what I think they're going to do is they're not going to raise rates, and they're going to tell us that they're just going to wait for the data to tell them what they need to do. So they may not give us much information, and this could be a little bullish for the markets. There's a possibility of that. The decision comes out at 2 o'clock p.m. That's just a couple of minutes from now. And that's for New York time, for Eastern time, New York time. And then at 2:30 p.m., we have the press conference when Jerome Powell starts speaking. So Powell's going to be speaking later on. Make sure you guys are ready for this. Now, my gut is telling me, I'm going to be open-minded, guys, and honest, but so far the charts are looking a little bit promising. If we're bearish after the rate hike decision comes, Tesla could sink towards 270 or below 270, then come down to 268 and 266, and maybe even like 263. If we're bullish, we're going to see Tesla try to push back above this resistance at 274 and try to get to 276 or all the way up there. So how are we looking so far? From a technical standpoint, we are looking more bullish. We are forming a potential inverse head and shoulders. So the odds are favoring a pop after the decision comes out, but I'm always going to be open-minded to anything just to be safe. After the decision, 30 minutes after that at 2:30, we have Jerome Powell giving his speech. If he pumps the markets even more, we could see Tesla get very close to 280. If Tesla, ends up getting a rug pull thanks to Jerome Powell, he could also cause Tesla to drop all the way back down to about 260 or even like below that. So it's going to be a very big drop if that's the case. How is this looking? It looks more bullish overall. Tesla's making higher highs and higher lows, holding up quite decently. So just get ready as the very big move is about to start. When it comes to SPY has a potential inverse head and shoulders on the 30 minutes time frame. It's so far quite valid. If this ends up playing out, okay, we could see SPY try to push above 445 right after the decision comes out, and we could see this thing start pushing. If we make it a pop once the decision comes out, then start dropping. Then after Jerome Powell speaks, we're going to see another big piece of volatility. If Powell pumps the markets, we could see SPY try to fill the gap and go all the way up to almost 450. If Powell causes a rug pull, we're going to see the market come all the way back down below 440 and potentially to 436. I am open-minded to anything, but I am leaning a tiny bit more bullish because we have this inverse head and shoulders, but always be open-minded just to be safe. For Aapl, If we're bearish, 175 is coming. If we're bullish, we're going to be pumping towards 180. Now, where do I think we're going to start off with? I think that we may see a pump towards 178 just to start us off with the rate hike decision. Then we may cool off after that. And then it all depends on Jerome Powell. If he really pumps the markets hard, we could see Apple get closer to 180 over the next few days. If we get the rug pulled thanks to Powell, then Apple's going to come sinking back down to the lower 170s. Now, I am once again open-minded to anything. I'm very open-minded to anything that could end up playing out. But just know that looking at Apple, if this thing establishes a higher low, there's a chance that it's bottomed right here and is trying to bounce. But we have to see how the reaction comes and what it looks like. So make sure you're prepared for that just to be safe. For the QQQ, on the 30 minutes time frame, we also have an inverse head and shoulders that is developed on it. That tells me that there's a real possibility of us getting a pump. Now, even though the odds do favor upside a little bit more, I'm always open-minded to anything depending on what happens with the Fed. If the rate hike comes in as we were expecting, we could see a little pop towards 371, then a rejection and some sideways price action. Then when Jerome Powell speaks, if he pumps the markets, 374 should be coming. If Powell gives us the rug pull, we're going to be watching this thing come all the way back down below 366 to invalidate this inverse head and shoulders and start tanking. So it all depends on Powell. I am open-minded to anything though, so just be prepared. It's always possible for Powell to pump us at the same time, so you never know what could happen. Be open-minded nonetheless. For Nvda, this is very flat right now. We may get a pop towards this 435 area once the rate hike decision comes out, then come right back down. And then when Powell starts speaking, if he pumps Nvidia, we're going to see 442 plus. If he causes the rug pull, we're going to be coming down to 420. So I'm expecting quite a big move for Nvidia. Make sure you are prepared for this. It's going to be very important. With that said, looking at the VIX, this thing is currently very flat, starting to drop a little bit, it's starting to cool off a little bit. We have this gap down here on the 30 minutes time frame. We also have this downtrend that's being respected so far. So it's going to be very important to watch and be prepared for that. It's looking a little bit weaker as we're rejecting off the 50 EMA. If we break below the 20, which is around 13.99 or 14, that could be another bullish signal for the markets. The dollar is looking kind of weak, which is once again another decent sign. So we'll see what this causes for us moving forward. But so far, that's what I'm seeing for the markets. That's what I'm seeing for the charts. Coinbase is kind of flat, so we're just going to be waiting for the big reaction. The market's getting ready. It is dropping a tiny bit as we're approaching the big rate hike decision, but we will see what happens, okay? So don't forget, guys, high volatility is coming. The Fed is most likely not going to be raising rates this time around, which could see a positive reaction from the markets. But then after that, it all depends on Jerome Powell. Will Jerome Powell help the market continue to pump or not? That depends on him. I can't really predict it perfectly. But from a technical standpoint, just based off technicals alone, I would say the market is looking a little bit more bullish. We have more bullish potential looking at these structures. But once again, even though this has some merit, it's not everything. So always be open-minded and do what you have to do, okay? So have a great day, guys. Watch Tesla very carefully. Watch your resistance around this 272 zone, not to mention 274, 275, and 276. And then watch support at 270, 268, and then 266, all right? Have a great day. Take care, guys. Get ready. We have some big volatility coming, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you, and peace out.